Myself, M. Karthik Kumar Reddy, working as an assistant professor in Nalla Narasimha Reddy Education Society's group of institutions in the Department of Civil Engineering in Foundation Engineering subject. I am going to explain about pile foundation in Unit 5. So, what exactly do we mean that? How we can calculate the load carrying capacity of pile in compression? That will be studying in today's lecture. That in the foundations are adequate safety against shear failure and permissible settlement. The load capacity of pile can be estimated by several methods which may be grouped into several categories. So in case of shallow foundation, when we were checking that ultimate bearing capacity as well as the settlement criteria, likewise in case of pile foundations also you have to see it that pile is not failing against shear as well as it is not undergoing excessive settlement. That means one is from the safety point of view, another one is from serviceability point of view. That is serviceability point of view. Stability and serviceability are the main criteria we are going to discuss now. So the settlement should be within the permissible limit, and along with that the pile should be safe against shear failure. There are various methods from where this pile load carrying capacity in compression can be estimated, and usually they are grouped into four, and they are that you can find out the load capacity of pile in compression by static load formulae. There are various formulae for different types of soils. Then by conducting pile load test in the field, let us say that you constructed a pile and there itself you tested and find it out that what exact is the load that is taking. Then pile driving formula, depending on what type of hammer that you are using, what type of motor that you are using, depending upon its efficiency and all other things, you can estimate this load carrying capacity of the pile in compression using this pile driving formula. And then there are some correlations which have been developed over many years using this penetration data. I hope that we have studied that standard penetration test which we have discussed in the first chapter, while we have studied soil exploration in the unit 1. Once you get the data that can be correlated to the load carrying capacity of the pile in compression. So these are the mainly four categories from where you can estimate the load carrying capacity. So let us start with static pile load formula, that how we can find out the capacity of the pile using the formula. When a compressive load Q is applied at the top of the pile will tend to move vertically downwards relative to the surrounding soil. Obviously, when you apply the load to any kind of structure, it will try to displace. So, in the case of pile, let us say that you are applying a load Q from the top, which is compressive in nature. The pile will have the tendency to move with respect to the surrounding soil, and then this will result in shear stress shaft. There will be relative movement in pile shaft and the soil strata which is surrounding the pile shaft, which will develop the shear stress. So as a result, the applied load is disturbed as friction load along a certain length of pile measured from the top. So as soon as the shear stress is developed, whatever is that is applied load, this Q which is compressive in nature, it will get disturbed, but earlier it will be to some particular length. Now what will happen that when the load at the top will go on increasing, the length of generation of this particular friction load will go on increasing along the pile shaft. So you see here at the top, as it is discussed, the friction load distribution will extend more and more towards the tip of the pile till at a certain load level the entire length of the pile is involved in generating the frictional resistance. You remember when we when you have discussed about the end bearing pile and skin friction resistance of the pile, there we saw the same mechanism, that is similar mechanism we saw regarding piles. What happens is that from the top, when the load is being applied, it will be getting applied slowly. You can just imagine a process of construction which will be taking place. Let us say first the dead load of this load just creates, let us say if you are going for 7-story or 8-story building, you really cannot construct 8-story building at a time. Let us say first you have completed first story, then second. Similarly, for simultaneously we are going to construct one above the another. The load will be going on increasing. So the load is not applied suddenly, it is a gradual one. So as you go on increasing the load on the pile from the top, the length along which, and this length will be go on moving towards the tip of the pile. One situation will come, whole length of the pile or the pile shaft will be creating or causing that whole friction load. In that case, that particular resistance is called ultimate skin friction resistance of pile, and we represent that by Q subscript. You can see here that this is the ultimate skin friction resistance of the pile, where the friction load is getting mobilized all along the length of the pile shaft. It is only when the load at the top of the pile exceeds QF, that the load in excess of QF begins to be transferred to the soil at the base of the pile. So you see the load is gradually increasing, and from there a situation will come when this friction load will get mobilized along the total length of the pile shaft, and at that particular stage we are calling as ultimate skin friction resistance QF. So at that particular situation or condition, your QF which is applied from the top, that is your Q, whatever the load which is applied from the top will become equal to QF. Let us say that this QF you attain after the completion of construction of the second story, but you have to go till 8th story. We start the construction of behind this second story or the construction of third story. This Q will go on increasing. That means that load will be going on increasing. The moment it increases the value of QF, that is the ultimate skin friction resistance, this will get transferred to the base of the pile. This load is known as point load, and this will be go on increasing till the soil at the base of the pile fails by punching shear failure. It is not that to the infinite extent you can particular load, it has its capacity. So the frictional capacity you can estimate using that QF. Whatever is your QF, that will be the pile. In the case the QX is the value of QF, in that particular case this remaining load, that is Q minus QF load, will get transferred to the base of the pile, and you can go on increasing the value of load Q till the soil at the base of the pile fails by punching shear failure. So whatever is the resistance of the soil at the base of the pile, that much only extra load you can put as a point load. The load is bearing at this stage is called as ultimate point load, which is represented by QPU. P is for point, U is the ultimate, and that is the ultimate point load. So you got familiar with two terms, that is ultimate skin friction resistance and now this ultimate point load. Then the maximum load which the pile can support through combined resistance of skin friction and point bearing is known as ultimate load capacity, which we represent usually by QU of the pile. So whatever is the distribution or how it is getting transferred, whatever the load which is coming on the pile, that is compressive load from superstructure, first it will get transferred to the pile shaft in the form of frictional resistance, and once that particular stage is over where Q becomes equal to QF, and if Q goes on increasing beyond that, then that particular increase will get transferred to the point bearing, and sum of these two, that is the ultimate skin friction resistance and ultimate point load, gives you the maximum load which a pile can support through combined resistance of skin friction, and point bearing, which is called as ultimate load capacity or QU. It is noted by QU. So you see here, that is QU will become equal to QPU plus QF. First one is ultimate point load, second one is ultimate skin friction. If this QPU is quite high, then as compared to this QF, the pile may be called as point bearing pile. That means the soil surrounding the mobilize that much of the friction resistance as compared to the ultimate point load. So mainly the pile resists the load through as compared to QF. In that case, the pile is called as point bearing pile. Now there can be another situation, that is this QF is quite called friction pile, that the resistance through friction becomes so much that the load which is coming from the superstructure is not getting transferred to the tip of the pile or the base of the pile. In that case, the function of the pile or the load transfer mechanism is usually friction. So in that case of the pile is called as frictional pile. The shear strength and elasticity of the soil. So you see, depending upon the type of the soil which is lying surrounding the pile shaft, let us say if able to mobilize good friction resistance along the pile shaft, obviously the frictional resistance will be more, and then the pile will be acting as friction pile. And in case the soil is not able to provide that frictional resistance, or in case the soil is lying below the pile is resting on the good soil strata or maybe rock, then in that case the soil surrounding the pile shaft will not be able to mobilize that much of the frictional resistance as compared to the end bearing resistance, and so it will be acting. And then the vertical moment of the pile required to mobilize full frictional resistance is much smaller than that required to mobilize full point bearing resistance. This is a very important aspect, which is that vertical moment of pile required to mobilize full friction resistance is much smaller than that required to mobilize full point bearing is coming on the pile. First use the friction is getting mobilized along the length. Obviously when the load is coming, the pile is getting displaced from that, the shear stresses are getting developed, and so they are resulting into frictional resistance. So by the time your Q will become equal to QF, that is at ultimate skin friction resistance, the deflection of the pile is not that much. So to mobilize the full point bearing resistance of the pile, in clays and for driven piles in sand, the vertical movement required to fully mobilize the base resistance is about 10 to 20% of the base diameter. So we really have to keep a check that what exactly should be the vertical movement so that the total skin friction is being mobilized along the length of the pile shaft, and then behind that the point bearing is getting mobilized. So in case of clays and for driven piles in sand, this is to mobilize the base resistance fully. The vertical movement is of the order of 10 to 20% of the base diameter. So let us say if you are the diameter of the base is 1 meter, then around 1 meter to 0.2 meter is the vertical movement that will be required to fully mobilize the base resistance. This usually implies that when piles are designed to carry a working load equal to 1/3 or half of the ultimate load, the chances are that the shaft resistance is fully mobilized at this working load. So usually what happens is that piles are designed to carry a working load equal to 1/3 or half of the ultimate load. See, ultimate load is being calculated using this static pile load formula or any other measure. Then it is half or 1/3, and then we design structural design of the pile is carried out using this particular half or 1/3 of the ultimate load. So as you can see that using this particular half or 1/3 of this ultimate load, so as you can see that you require 10 to 20% vertical movement of the base diameter. So at this particular position, there are chances that the shaft resistance is fully mobilized at that particular working load. It may happen that the fully mobilization of point load may not fully mobilization point. It has been observed that one case is that when the ultimate skin friction resistance is mobilized, only a fraction of ultimate point load is mobilized. So first is that the skin friction is getting mobilized. So whenever a load is coming from the superstructure to a pile, first it is getting mobilized along the pile shaft to a particular length. As you go on increasing this value of Q, the length over which this will get mobilized or the length along which the frictional load will get mobilized will go on increasing, and a stage will come where you will achieve the ultimate skin friction resistance. So when the ultimate skin friction resistance is mobilized, what does this mean? Means that at this particular point the applied load becomes equal to the ultimate skin friction resistance. In this particular case, only a fraction of the ultimate load is mobilized. That is very obvious, and when you will increase the load which is coming from the superstructure beyond this particular stage, then this ultimate point load will go on increasing. And the second one is that when the ultimate point load is mobilized, the skin friction resistance has decreased to a lower value, that is, then it is peak. See, what is happening is this in the procedure, as you are increasing the value of load, that is Q, which is coming from the superstructure, a condition is occurring that at that particular condition that load Q is becoming equal to ultimate skin friction resistance. There will be a point when this point bearing resistance will be just equal to 0. When you will go on increasing the load, what will happen is that the resistance which has been developed at the tip of the pile will go on transferring to the point bearing resistance, and in that process at any particular point of time, what will happen is that the ultimate skin friction resistance value will always be less than its